Welcome to another episode of 90 Minutes of Wisdom, a channel dedicated to helping you expand your knowledge and develop a more successful and peaceful mind. My guest today goes by many, many names. Saya, the tribal monk, Drum Buddha, Silence, but I know him as Shahbaz Mansouri, who is a very close friend of mine and the owner and operator of Omniaura and a phenomenal hand drum percussionist. Welcome to the show, Shahbaz. Welcome, bro.
How you doing, my man?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Looks awesome. It always looks so comfortable where you are. Like, it's so inviting, so warm.
Well, you've been here, so this is the studio, basically, a little meditation spot that I've created in the last year to run this business, Omniaura. So yeah, it's always I've been reading up a lot about lighting and how it affects your mood and how it helps you breathe and how it helps you think. So I like constantly staying and playing in these lights now down here. So it's helped.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I can feel the calmness because I've been there. So like when I look in the room, like my vibrations go up and my body gets calm just by looking into the room. So really cool.
Well, I'm here, so you can imagine what's happening to me.
Yeah, for sure, dude, for sure. Awesome. So, do you want to maybe tell the listener a little bit about Omniaura and what you do there?
Okay, well, basically these are they're meditation lights that I've come across when I was back in India. When I was working back out there doing music, I had a producer friend with me who started this business basically down there. So these are lights that trigger your pineal gland. Now, if the viewers don't really are familiar with what the pineal gland is, it's kind of like a little tonsil-like thing gland in the middle of your thalamus in your head here. And in the Eastern philosophy, they refer that to as your third eye. So this device is basically a pulse-like meditation device, which activates your pineal gland. And it brings you to a state of hypnagogia. Hypnagogia is basically a state between sleeping and being awake. So it's a state which you get to where you start feeling a lot of peace and relaxing, which a lot of people refer to as meditation. Now, meditation you can do in many ways. What this device does is it's a shortcut almost to get you to the hypnagogia state, and instantly within minutes you're in a feeling of euphoria. You're relaxed. You're in a meditative state. Basically, it takes you to a point of meditation, which a lot of people that I'm hearing now are beginning to seek. Back in India, this meditation comes in very different forms and is practiced and exercised almost daily in very different forms. So it's very strong out there. But now, coming back to Canada here and being in the Western world, I'm starting to see the word meditation with the introduction of yoga in the last decade here in the Western world. It's kind of perpetuated this type of culture now. And a lot of people are understanding that their mental health is directly connected to the way that they can calm your mind. And the only way you can calm your mind basically is by being with yourself and allowing yourself to let go of everything that is happening.
Yeah, for sure. And then that's cool. I like the way that you describe it. I mean, there's so many ways to talk about it, but it's very difficult to kind of to properly describe it without having the experience, I think. But you want to explain kind of so someone comes into your business, comes into your place, into your room, and so what's the process? So they walk in, they say hi.
A person will basically come in. What I have is an aura imaging device. I use that device to basically get a graphical representation of your energy. And it also gives me your 7 points, your chakras, basically your alignment, the way that you align yourself. So basically what it does is it gives a graphical representation of your chakras and your energy. I'll take that, I'll get an imaging, then we'll go into a breathing session, which lasts from anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And once you got your breathing and you're calmed down, there's 2 ways to take the light. You can take it up sitting up, or you can take it while you're lying back. When you're sitting up, it's kind of like looking at a theater when you're in an auditorium, so you're panoramic panoramic view is like this. When you're lying back, it's kind of like looking up at the sky when you're lying back on grass, and you get more of a 360 panoramic view. So the experience is a little different depending on which position you're in.
Sure, and then this light like device. It's about
Yes.
what, like 2 feet by 2 feet, and it's kind of, I don't know, a foot away from your face. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost the size of like a medium sized dish, almost. Or a little frisbee, almost. Depending on the session, because there's different intensities of sessions, I'll keep it at least about a foot and a half away, and then I can adjust the intensities of the lights externally if I need to, if I feel that it's too intense at times.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's very hard, very, very difficult to explain. I've been trying to explain exactly what it is. You can go to the website and check it out. But the experience is something very, very different. For everybody that has come in and has experienced this, you alike, have always given a different reaction coming out of the light. Because when you go on my site and you read it, you have a little perception of what it may be, but it's actually nothing what people perceive.
Sure. Yeah, and that's like omniaura.ca. Is that correct?
Yeah, omniaura.ca.
Okay, great. Awesome. And yeah, so I'll say from my experience, which was so cool. So I've done it a few times now, this light sessions with the Lucia light, and the other one's called Pandora. Is that right?
Pandora Star.
Pandora Star. So both of them are exceptional. So I remember coming in, we would use the GDV machine to measure the aura. Right. And the chakra balance. And then we did a light session. So we had before and after. So you measure it before, you do the light session, and we measure it after, and you can physically see the alignment. Yeah, the alignment. And then it gives you mathematically, like if you were at 75%, now you're at like 89 or 90%.
What I believe your initial reading was 78 the first time we did it. Your alignment showed at 78%. And you did we did about a 15-minute light session, the DMT2 session, I think it was that I gave you. And when you came out of it and we rechecked your image, you had come up to a 92%.
Yeah, exceptional, amazing. Yeah,
it was. I mean, you can definitely see a difference.
Shahbaz, is it fair to say that it's always beneficial to do a light session?
I have seen no side effect from this at all, because this is not a drug. It's not a physical thing that you're taking in your body. Everybody that has taken the experience has messaged me or called me back, or when the next time that they have met me have said that it's assisted them in their sleeping. A lot of people have anger issues, meaning that they let their anger take the better of them, and they say that by doing the lights, it's helped them to remain calm in a certain way. And I think it's because what happens is when you're dealing with a lot of stresses in life, what you're doing is you're allowing your mind just to look at those set of vibrations that are coming to you. And if you can think of something that's joyous, that's why people say be grateful and have gratitude. So when you're stressing, if you look at something that's gratitude, what you're doing is you're changing your pace. You're allowing your mind to slow down and look at something that is not stressing you out. I mean, it's just basically as simple as that. Now, we've gone as far as getting these types of devices and stuff where people have to bring this into a routine of their life and consciously make an effort to come here and do that. And maybe that's what the device does, is it's an attraction for people to come and exercise this. Because throughout the whole day, you're dealing with your children, you're dealing with finances, you're dealing with work, you're dealing with your health, you're dealing with a lot of things. And a lot of people will go to a lot of other ways to relax. I mean, there's booze, there's drugs, and there's meditation. A lot of people that I've seen, when they come to the meditation, it's always because the booze and the drugs didn't really help.
Well, it doesn't. It never does, because it's just like a crutch or masking it, right?
Well, it's how you use it. If you're using it, if you're in a high vibration and you use these substances, then I understand why you're using them. But if you're using them to suppress a stress or some problems, all you're doing is perpetuating. But the only thing that can help you is meditation.
But that's it. And mostly it is though. Like I would say, the majority, 90-something%. Let's be honest, is people that are, as I was saying, they can't deal with the stresses of life, so to take the edge off.
And it's not our fault, because I was living that life thinking everything was normal. That's how I get up, I go to work, I come home and I have a drink. I relax. Like these brewery companies and these alcohol companies always position alcohol as something that's going to give you, it's going to relax you and it's going to take you, kick back and have this. Like you see Corona, it's always a paradise oasis that these guys are sitting at, and they've got a Corona in their hand. And every time you're going to hold a Corona, you're going to think, yeah, I'm chilling now. Yeah. There's no work, there's no responsibility. But that's not the point. You know what I mean? It's for me, I thought that was normal. It was wrong, because what I was doing that's what I was doing. I was drinking and thinking, okay, I think I'm relaxing, and that's not doing anything. Yeah. Except it was just delaying the problem until I got to a point where I was like, I got to find a real serious solution to my stresses. You know what I mean? Because it was my breathing was getting bad. I was getting anxiety. I was enjoying my life. I was doing music and I'm on stage and I'm doing this, but there's stresses that come with that. You're constantly stressed and you feel broken. You're not happy. You can't enjoy the fruits of your labor. I'll be honest with you. At sometimes it feels like, I enjoy it more now, being away from it, reflecting. I enjoy more than I could have enjoyed while I was actually there. When I project it to the world, it seems like, oh, this guy's having a great time. But the thing is that's also a stress that you're dealing with. And once you're out of performing and all those energies and those people, and you're alone and you actually meditate, that's when you alleviate yourself of a lot of those heavy vibrations.
Yeah, beautifully said. And again, it's what you're saying. Like, I know that you and I have been meditating, for many, many, many years. And it takes a lot of practice, like anything, right? You go to play a sport, you go to play anything, you're not good the first time you do it. It takes a while. It takes a lot of practice. And I think that people have so many thoughts going through their mind so quickly that very, very difficult for them to slow down their breathing and to just start monitoring their thoughts, right? Instead of thinking them out is just to slow down and to see what's going on, right?
Absolutely. Like me being born and raised in a Muslim house, there's a doctrine in Islam that you pray 5 times a day. Now, what was happening as a child, growing up in my teens also, every time that I would pray, it was motions that I was going through. I was not connected. You know what I mean? Because prayers in Islam has a certain cadence to it. There's a certain thing that you do. There's certain mantras or surahs that you're reciting through the prayer. But if you've got them memorized, what you're doing is, as a body in a casket, just regurgitating these words and not really connecting. But what that used to do to me is it would bring me to a place, always 5 times a day, to allow me to slow my mind. Once I understood that I wasn't just praying to appease God, God has given me these 5 pockets throughout the 24 hours in the day to slow my rhythm. And how do I slow my rhythm? By connecting with the one energy. That's worship. It's not me sitting there and asking him about things and me going out and trying to be godly and praying and being righteous. It was basically 5 spots in the day for me to cater to myself and my mental health so I can go through life in lighter vibrations.
Yeah, I think that's
and people take 5 times prayers in Islam as if you don't pray, you're not a Muslim and you're not this. The approach to that is so damaging. Like, the approach should be, hey, listen, the Spirit has given you 5 pockets. Even if you use 2 of them, it's good. And if the person in those 2 understands the power of that, he'll wisen up and use those other 3 throughout the day and maximize his mental health. The approach of the way that we live is so wrong. We really need to, I think, reset the way we live. Our mindset throughout the world, with the commerce and the industrialization and the military and everything that is out there, I think we really just need to change the way we live. Really just go zoom, take a deep look at all the traditions and the cultures, try to find a way which starts making a lot more sense, and getting to the truth a lot quicker. I feel that humankind gets deceived until they come to a certain point of maturity where they start seeing clarity. Why can't that clarity be imposed to people earlier on in their life? Is what I'm saying. We're losing people to suicide in their 20s. Just right now, today, Lisa Marie Presley's 27-year-old son committed suicide. Supposedly, the estate of Elvis Presley makes upward to $50 to $60 million annually, even till today. These people have no lack of resources at all. What is the reason for an individual who has everything at his disposal to be at a point that he's taking his own life? we need to examine that, you
Yeah, for
know?
sure. Yeah, I mean that's very sad. I didn't know that. That's horrible. But I mean, it's that thing that wealth and happiness. It's actually it doesn't wealth does not bring happiness. That's for sure. That's been proven over and over. And there's
We
actually
say it, everybody says it, but I don't think we truly believe it, Andrew. That's what I'm saying. Because
yeah.
our actions speak different than that.
Well,
Everybody says that. Everybody, when I talk to people, everyone agrees to it, but then they turn around and they're searching for the nicest car and the biggest house and the
sure, for
nicest
sure.
ring,
But there's a, there,
and
but
and they come back to their daily
absolutely.
Instagram life.
No, but
You know,
absolutely, and you want that. But the thing is, like like Jim Carrey said, when you arrive there, when you have it all, you realize that it's empty. So it's actually the journey to get things you want to grow. And as Tony Robbins says,
Russell
it's
Brand.
it's the progress. Like Tony Robbins says, progress. The happiness comes from getting a little bit better, growing every day, not from actually attaining the thing. Like, okay, you have the greatest car. It's not about having the greatest car. It's about the fact that you made it to get the greatest car. Okay, great.
Because
And then
you and I both know individuals who have attained great wealth
yeah,
and have been able to access all these things of life that are at the most prime. I've seen it. I know people personally in my life.
sure,
I've seen that. I've seen life give that to them, the success come to them, and then them indulging in all those things, thinking that somehow they're going to get aligned. And if anything, they got even more disaligned
sure.
in their relationships, in their work. You know,
But
these are
that's
all
yeah,
distractions.
yeah. But it's
Intrinsic
it. But
distractions.
the thing is, it's true. There's only a handful of people I know that have true success, and that's inner and outer. And the people that have inner and outer success is true success, where they have inner peace. It's very rare. And if you're going to choose, if anyone was going to choose, it's the obvious choice. I mean, I think actually maybe it's not so obvious to a lot of people. I would choose inner peace 10 out of 10 times. I choose happiness 10 out of 10 times than being unhappy in discord and have all these amazing physical objects around you. Like it's weird, but we don't.
So like define that. What does that mean? For a lot of people, can you sit alone with yourself and not want anything existential and feel happiness?
Oh no, absolutely! Like no, very very few people.
Because
That's for sure.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, Shabazz. So we were talking a bit about the whole process of walking into your place, and and my experience feeling this calmness, and then having that the GDV camera and getting the full spectrum of like your chakra alignment, then going and doing this light session, feeling that thing, opening the pineal gland, seeing these amazing. We don't really talk about the colors and lights like that get generated because it's just like a white light, like different white lights. And then I remember the experience for myself seeing all these amazing geometric shapes and colors and stuff like that. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, everything that you were seeing, everything that you're describing right now, was a creation of your own mind, because the device itself is only a white light, and they're they're put in a cross almost formation, and they all run on different BPMs at different times, and they're sequenced. So it's hitting your pineal gland and pulsating in a different way. So every time that you go under it, you'll see if the experience is very, very similar, but it's like a snowflake. Like when you see it snow, you understand that it's snowing, and that's what's similar. But if you look at every flake, it becomes different. And that's what this is basically like. Every experience that's happening to you and every visualization that you're seeing is happening from your own pineal gland, because the colors and the shapes that are being produced are in your own mind itself. The only thing that it's doing is this is assisting in extrapolating. It's kind of like the breath that you put in making the bubble, So this is the device is the breath, but then the shape that comes out and that you're seeing is your own mind, basically. It comes out into that atmosphere and it creates that. Because for different people, like we've done the same sessions together, and under the same session have seen different colors than you have. I've seen colors that you have not seen. You have seen colors that don't appear to me. So it's very different for everybody in terms of the experience that they have.
Yeah, that's it. Well said. I think it's what's so great about it, again, just to drive that point home, is without using hallucinogenics or any kind of things like that. you're able to have these experiences and open the pineal gland. And number one, and number two is that for those people that you hear it so often, I can't meditate, it's too hard, it's too this, I've tried, I've failed, stuff like that. It's, it's just it's a shortcut to something so much bigger to give you that kind of glimpse into it.
The result that everyone strives for meditation is a calming. And there's so many different ways to get to the calming. A lot of people, it takes a long time to do all these processes, and they never get to a calming because they're so focused on the process that they never get to a calming because they're maybe not doing it right, or they're getting frustrated, or they give up. What this light does is it gives you an instant calming. Now, you want to call that meditation or you want to call it whatever. What it is it's actually just calming. It's allowing you to get into this light and give you a euphoric feeling. And what it does is it pushes back everything that is currently happening to you right now. It doesn't allow you to actually indulge into anything. There may be lingers of things, but it doesn't allow you to focus on the bogus, basically.
Yes, yeah. That's what's so interesting is that you don't have those because when you're trying to, they always say, the basic, let's say meditation 101, like just follow your breathing, like breathe in, breathe out, follow your breathing, and then occupy your mind with that, right? That's what they tell you.
Well, what the breathing is doing is what you're trying to do with the breathing is push back all of that clutter that's there so you can go to a conscious mind. What this is doing, this light, with these colors and these shapes that you're seeing, that's what it's physically doing.
Yeah.
It's tangibly pushing those thoughts back. Now, under the light, if I was to whisper to you, try to perceive this, you may be able to, but it won't be as clear because the lights are forcing you to push that focus back and allow you not to do anything but to focus on the light and just look at the constructs. And what that construct is doing is decluttering and defragmenting your mind. That's what you are doing. For that moment, you are in a state of hypnagogia. You are in a state of calmness. And you're getting the effect that people get after 2 hours of breathing and staying calm and not saying anything and then getting to a state of calmness. So this device is basically, that's why it's helping a lot of people instantaneously. In our lifestyle here, we don't have the time to take out 2 hours to meditate. A lot of people just don't have that time, and actually to unhook and not to think about anything and be in that state is very difficult because people who meditate like that are not indulging in jobs and in certain pursuits. They're away and they're in a constant state of meditation and enlightenment. So when they go into that, they're already there. For us, it's very, very impractical, I would have to say, to emulate what they're doing and try to get that result in this atmosphere and environment that we live in. So what these doctors in Austria did, being from the Western world and being from these same type of patterns of life, daily life, they have introduced a light that you can do for 10 to 15 minutes in your day and achieve the calmness that you would have to get to by doing multiple hours of meditation and breathing.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is a very difficult thing to do because meditation is almost a religion and a part of a person's lifestyle. And if it's not constantly there in your mentality, it's hard to say that you meditate. So what this device does is it allows you to become calm and not necessarily meditate.
Yeah, but that's it too. Is like what I was saying before, is that it comes with practice and not one like week or month. It's like years of practice, and it keeps getting refined and refined. So like no one that plays basketball takes a basketball, maybe Michael Jordan, and starts and is good right away. It's like you start getting lots and lots of practice.
But obviously, the first day that he picked it, from the day that he ended, there's such a progress because he just like you
of course
said, got better and
they
better.
showed him how much work he put in.
The improvement that was
of course. So
it's great to start with,
but there's so many people that say like, oh, I tried, and they try it like once. I tried to meditate or like twice, and it's like so lost. So I think this is like very helpful. So you want to just say the benefits. There's so many benefits, but just tell me some of the benefits that people have given you feedback on from doing light sessions.
A lot of people say when you're in a situation to calm down, take a breath, and to assess the situation. A lot of people just jump to anger, and what that does is you cancel out the assessment part of it. You don't give yourself a chance and options for a better solution. So a lot of people, especially when they're dealing at work or even when they're dealing with children, they become short with themselves or with the child. And when you do that on a daily basis, it perpetuates that in every choice you make in your life. And when you're making a choice with anger or with haste, you're bound to make wrong choices. And that invites a lot of people's misery. That's where the stress starts coming in, because what you're doing is you're moving so fast and there's so much happening that you're trying to take care of everything, and that you're bound to make mistakes there. So what you're doing is, if you slow the process down of your thoughts, you're going to be able to make better decisions. So when I explain this to people on how to think, and then they go under the light, and then they actually apply this methodology and remind themselves that, hold on a second, I need to take this. I ask them to remember the lights, remember the shapes. And as soon as they do that, for them, that's their moment where they're calming down. And they can use that as a point now of reference to calm down, because it's very hard for me to give them a point without the lights, unless they can come up with it from themselves, you know?
Yeah, but you know what I think that's really cool too is like just the way you describe it, because we think in pictures, right? And we see pictures in our head. And when you have these lights and then you have these colors and geometric shapes, it kind of like replaces those thought pictures that you normally
Absolutely.
have, you know? It's
That's
really
what
cool.
I've been doing with myself, because I've done this light session so many times and I consistently do them, that now when I close my eyes, I can automatically see those shapes. I can be in a light session without the light being on me, and it starts to calm me because I'm not forgetting it. It's imprinted in my mind. Even with you, I can tell you, I think the last time that you did a session was almost 6 to 8 months ago, when you had come down here. But I can guarantee you, and I can say it with full confidence, if you were to close your eyes right now, you would remember that experience immediately. And that's all you would be thinking about. So if you can do that and just think of the experience that you had, you're in a position to calm yourself and now make a rational decision with whatever you need to make, without any haste, without any anger. So that's helped. And the majority feedback that I get with people has helped them with their sleep, basically. That when they go to sleep, or when they try to sleep, it's hard for them to shut down their mind. And now with these lights, when they go back, they can close their eyes, and they can, if they don't want to think about anything else that's happening in their life, and just think about the session that they did, and they think about that for 5 minutes, it gives them a very calming effect. And for some reason, it's helping people sleep. I've heard that world over. When I was doing this in India, that was helping a lot of people out there. In Europe, there's been tests. There's testimonials worldwide on these devices. The sites are there. The information is all there. Nothing is hidden. But it is fairly new. So I believe that people here in North America need to be educated on these tools that'll help with mental health. Because mental health, I'm happy now that finally we are acknowledging that mental health is even an issue. Because I'm in my 40s now, and when I was growing up in school, I don't ever remember anybody ever even saying mental health, or this individual has a mental health problem. Either you were sane or you were crazy. Almost. It was almost black and white with us when we were.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it wasn't there even depression, anxiety. Nothing was talked about. It was like all hidden.
You're violent, or it was like there's no ADD, or there was no autism, or none of that stuff was there in our high school. Or a kid ever going to a doctor and him coming back and saying, I've been diagnosed with some type of mental health problem. Mental health, that word was just not ever used. Now it's like I can't escape it almost.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, and that's something too that I'd love to see more of the research on. Was like they're saying people with like PTSD and stuff, that if they did hallucinogenics or if they did ayahuasca, it would cure like their PTSD for like forever by doing like one session. I'm wondering how, the light sessions, how amazingly impactful it could be for certain individuals, maybe even more than others, even though it benefits everyone.
It's the same effect without the residue, and without the hangover, and without any type of side effect. I mean, that's the beauty of this light. It doesn't. There's nothing tangible. There's nothing going inside of you. It's a massage for your mind. Almost, it feels like, if I can say it to you. So yeah, the ayahuasca trips, psilocybin and magic mushrooms, all these have healing properties. The only thing with that is that I've seen cases where it can go both ways, because there's a lot of darkness and demons and negativity that people carry with them. So when they go in, and if they're not clear of mind, and if they're not in a place, and they allow those things to happen, you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Is your experience coming out of that. A lot of people, when they come out of that, they're like, I had a bad experience. Why? Because in your experience, you had to deal with that.
Yes.
A lot of people don't deal with it. You know what I mean?
So just on that subject, now I think I know the answer, but I wanted to clarify. Is it possible to have like a bad light session, like a bad trip?
I don't think so. I don't. There's nothing here to say that anybody does, because if you were to feel discomfort, I can turn off the light and you can come back to your reality. You can't do that on Silent Soul.
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
16-hour process, and if you're tripping out, you're stuck in that. Even in DMT, even though it's like a 15-minute, 20-minute hit, if in the first few minutes you get that vision and that feeling is set inside you, you can't shake it until it's out of your body. For any reason, if anybody's uncomfortable for any moment at any time, I can turn the lights off. You open your eyes and you're back to your reality.
Absolutely. And but has anyone ever had in your experience?
Not documented, because the individual Amitabh Shweta, who's the owner of the Zero Temple in Bangalore and has started the Thousand Petals organization, and he was the one who introduced the lights into the country of India, who introduced the lights to me. He has done now over I think 3,000 sessions. And in those 3,000 sessions, there has been no negative review per se. There's been no side effects, and he has administered it on from like I think the age of 12 all the way up to the age of like 92. I think the oldest person that he's administered it on.
Yeah, so just to say, there's no bad tripping on. There's no negative experience. There's just different experiences, but none of them are negative.
No, not that I have heard of. I mean, nothing is documented. I mean, you go to Yelp and a restaurant will have bad reviews because they had bad food in it. I mean, I'm sure if somebody had anything negative, or because it would help the medical community and the overall people that are researching this device to know how to make it better if there's anything wrong.
Yeah, but like I was saying, so many sessions, so many people, zero. There's been zero.
It's been out there for more than 12 years now.
Exactly.
It's just coming around here.
Okay. So on that subject, so you're in Orleans in the greater Ottawa area.
That's right.
Right. And so what's the best way to contact you? To get through the website or through Facebook or
the website? Facebook, Instagram. There's phone numbers. You can message me. You can email. There's emails there. So I mean, there's multiple ways for you to contact me, and I'm always available to answer any questions.
Okay, great. So again, omniaura.ca is a good way. And then what's your Facebook tag?
It's Omniaura, I think, Facebook slash Omniaura.
Yeah. / Omniaura. Okay, fantastic.
I mean, if you just type in Omniaura into your search, it'll pop up.
Okay, awesome. So look, I think what we'll do, Shahbaz, is
all the links are available on the website too. So.
Okay, great. So I think what I'll do is I'll definitely put the links, in the description. But I think what we'll do is we'll end it here as session 1. Now this is going to be, as discussed, a like 3 to 300,000 part session. Right. So
it's never ending. I mean, because I speak to you almost daily.
Right.
We discussed almost everything in the universe.
Yeah.
Talk about. So I mean, I know it's very difficult for us to kind of paraphrase our thoughts and present them, and we've been having a difficulty with that. I'm just trying to be honest and candid with whoever's going to view this. So yeah, I mean, definitely.
So yeah, this is like part 1 of infinite amount of parts, right? Basically. And so just with this part, we just kind of want to talk about that kind of like Omniaura and stuff like that. And then I think as it goes, there's so many interesting things. There's so many subjects that we can talk about that we do discuss, you and I, as you said, on a daily or weekly basis. So we'll get into those things next time. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Okay, bro. So with that, I'll wish you a successful and peaceful mind, and have a wonderful evening, and we will talk super soon.